she's against a strong duelist jungler that can invade. That is not ideal for her. She suffers against characters like Elise because she just can't 1v1 them early. If they walk into her jungle and are supported by their team, there's not a lot Evelyn can do. However, in this circumstance, where you've got relatively weak, relatively passive early laners, you know, possibly...
But looking at these two team compositions that we have for both of them, you know, what's your thoughts? Who's going to be stronger earlier on? Who's going to be stronger late game? What's the goal of each of these teams?
Well, Lyon's team is essentially a snowball composition at this point. They've got Kha'Zix, they've got Evelyn. Both of these characters are pretty much fantastic for getting the game rolling in your favor. Thing is, obviously Leona can help to you know, put that together with the rest of them. But it's so much going to depend on their laning, because if this does drag on, Vladimir Orianna is just unbelievably impossible to deal with.
It's going to be a lot of damage, especially when Vladimir's ultimate does help Orianna as well. And right now we're seeing very similar to what we saw in the games earlier on today. Both teams just kind of sitting at this line of scrimmage, so to say, and not really going for any sort of invades, not really going for any contesting. And do you think we're going to see anything happen, or is it just going to be like a kind of standard first game of the day, first game that's best of 3, no need to rush?
I think in the Brazilian meta, from what I'm seeing, you need a really significant reason to go for an invade and a really significant advantage to go for an invade. We actually saw it earlier with ISG invading against Maokai. Punished him really, really hard for being Maokai, because obviously his saplings were destroyed, he was killed, and they took away his buff, and that put Pain quite a long way behind. But in this situation where there isn't a massive advantage either way, I don't think either side particularly has much incentive.
All right, well, the sound somehow got louder from the games we did earlier. Not sure how that one worked out, but...
Audio mixers.
Yeah.
Mix up everything you know.
But one thing I do want to see between both these teams is how this game really develops. Remember, this is a best of 3, so it's the only first game here in this series. And I will apologize right now for you guys. I am on the camera, and Lyon Gaming, they said they were in the correct position, but they were liars. They decided to switch their AD carry and their support. So it's going to be a little bit tough here, but hopefully it's not too bad. And we're going to have Bayak start over at his blue buff here. We're going to have Crow, that camera work is really shoddy, but Crow going to be starting over at his blue as well.
It's fine, Jason. I'm not looking at your screen. So, at the moment, it seems to me like both of them are going for a fairly passive start, as we sort of expected. And the question really is going to be, are they both going to get their first ganks off successfully? Evelyn is looking to try and punish the Vladimir early, because obviously if he falls behind early, he's going to suffer really badly, as we mentioned before. If Elise gets a gank on the bottom lane, that's not necessarily going to guarantee anything about that bot lane, because Leona, Lucian are so much stronger in a straight-up 2-on-2. I've got to say, I actually really don't like the fact they've gone for that lane setup.
Well, right now we do see 7 Warriors, they able to force them out a little bit. They're going to be able to hit their level 2 a little bit earlier on than their opponents, and they're not going to get that pressure they're looking for, but they will force them to farm under that turret, and as being Sia is, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to miss out on any of these. Over the top side, though, we have Vladimir versus Zach. We were talking about a little bit earlier on that Vladimir should kind of have an advantage once he gets a couple of items going on. And it's hard for Porky here on Zach to really do too much, but one thing that Vladimir doesn't have, though, I'll say that Porky does have, is that CC.
Yeah, Vlad doesn't set up ganks very well, and this is part of why he's a very risky pick. If he falls behind, it's very, very hard to get him back in it, because his damage is terrible, and he has no CC either. And
you're seeing right now, Brewster pushed back a little bit here by Yuri. I'm not sure if Bayak was actually spotted right there, but it definitely shows they want to get that Kha'Zix going early on, and it's a Kha'Zix. If you get him going early at all, he can just be devastating late game.
Yeah, he flips out and just jumps all over your team. And with the setup they've got for a Kha'Zix, where they've got quite a lot of AoE damage from Zach and from Evelyn, that's not something you can afford to have happen. Now, Elise looking for the gank on the bottom lane. She's got the lane pushing. And
she's not spotted either, which makes it even more deadly right now. We do currently have Bayak heading down towards this bottom side as well. Actually going to go straight towards that tri-bush here, and Sia's actually going to get this vision on a Crow here as he's put a ward tank, his jump out, he gets feared! They do have the damage to take him down, and he's going to drop! That's first blood going over to Issa, and a fantastic job on his wow. Crow played it so smart, being so calm, not trying to rush in a little bit too early, and he catches Sia making a mistake.
Really, really nicely done. And It's one of those confidence things, and one of the reasons Elise is so strong is because she can, even if your bot lane is a fair way away and gonna have to take a little while to support, she can not only hold her own in terms of surviving, thanks to repel and thanks to being slightly tankier than average, she can also do a lot of damage and hold you in place in order for that bot lane that were a little bit out of position or further away than they would have liked to be to get up with the rest of your team.
Oh, it's unfortunate as he's already behind in CS, he's already behind in kills. This is only going to make it worse for him as he's going to have ESSA sitting on 1,300 to go back with. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually just waits around for his BF sword and then just kind of bullies him out of their lane. And you have a Leona, so the thing is, they're not out, in my opinion, it's not like they're out yet at all. I mean, they can still burst down Fiddlesticks, who's still relatively squishy.
This is the one true fact. This is the reason Tristana isn't seen that much as compared to most of the common picks. She doesn't snowball very hard in the same way that a Lucian Leona combo can. If a Lucian Leona combo gets ahead, at level 6, you're dead, basically. Unless you flash, and even if you do, you're going to die next time the cooldown comes up. That basically means there's a serious situation, and actually there's a serious situation in mid.
He's trying to go for that gank on a Bruiser here in the middle, and they actually do spot him, but here comes Crow, and she just switches out back into his human form, scares him away, and I want to give credit to both those junglers to realize where the other jungler will be and to be there to counter it in time. Fantastic job of them, great insight into the game as well. And right now you see Crow, he's trying to go for his race here, but Doc, he has something to say about it. He's looking to contest it here, actually just go straight in onto him. He's not really afraid to fight, so he has the health advantage. And Crow wasn't able to get that big race, so Doc was able to push him out and steal it away. Oh. And it actually does get smited, so Doc does lock that one down.
Yeah, and smart positioning there, as you say. It's pretty much an important lane to be influencing, because if Kha'Zix doesn't snowball, that's going to put a much slower progression of the game for Lyon sort of on the whole game, and that's a serious problem for him. I was watching that, I was thinking, that's quite a risky play, but as it happens, didn't choose to go for it. So slowing down the game is always going to favor Seven Wars.
All right, now in fact, he was spotted going towards middle here, and you can see the pings already coming in by Seven Wars. They know he's going to be in that general vicinity, and they do start to back away a little bit here. You see, I like how Kimmy is actually sitting back and is ready to fear if need be. And actually puts down a pink ward in that tri-bush just to spot that coming in. And we do see the flash out of Uli right there, straight out of Bruce, but gets caught under turn by the Cocoon! And Crow picks up, or does pick up the kill, but gets the assist. Fantastic job by them. And in the meantime, the top lane is going head-to-head here. Porky gets dropped down. Vladimir's should be able to clean this one up, I would imagine here, but if anything, just get the passive away, and he's looking for it, but he can't actually get the kill just yet in time, and Porky will be able to run away from this. But so far, 2-0 lead now in favor of Seven Wars.
Okay, so he popped his passive very nice there, but I have to question, why didn't Vlad just sit in the middle and spam Tides of Blood? He had you cannot kill yourself with Tides of Blood, and if you cast it when you're low, I believe it takes you down to like 1 health, but doesn't kill you. So there was no reason for him to fear that, but there is an engaging bot.
Yeah, Kimmy getting caught right there, but it doesn't really care. He does get the fear right back onto him. Essa is starting to run away here. He still has that rocket jump. Will actually jump away here, but look at the damage. It's already come in from the side of Lyon Gaming, and it actually might be enough to force him out. He still has barrier, still has flash to escape here. And Thyak, he's also coming down to the spot sign, but so is Crow. They're looking for this double gank here, and this could be dangerous for either team.
Yeah, in the straight-up 3-on-3 situation, Agony's Embrace is going to be huge, but it needs to hit more than one person. Otherwise, Elise is going to have a lot more influence. She has a lot more single-target damage in both burst and sustained situations. But it actually looks like both of them are just going to back off.
That could have been the engage they needed there, right there too, but Kimmy, unfortunately, he got just far enough away to dodge that Zenith Blade, was able to escape right there, and as well as you can see on the minimap, Porky going to be heading back home towards the top side, but early items, as we do see. Porky going for that Spectral Scout, and we do see the Revolver picked up for Vladimir.
Not going for the build that I suggested would have gone for, but there's another fight.
I see he's getting chased out. We do see Evelyn just come in here with that ultimate, gets Kimmy really low. He's actually going to caught here, but not before Essa gets the kill back on the CA. Kimmy, he wills. He ults back in the turn, but the turn's currently on Leona. We do see Evelyn pick up the kill, but he's going to drop to Essa again, and that is a double kill coming in for that Tristana. Now 3-0 here with 57 CS. The bottom lane of Seven Wars is doing phenomenally.
Fantastic playing there. That was a really, really quick decision and smart decision to go for that knockback, and it secured them so much. And now with 3 kills, I know I've mentioned that I'm never going to count Lucy and Leona out of it because they've got so much more burst, but with that many kills and having actually started with a relatively weak duelist build, going for the Avarice Blade in towards the Shiv, that is a really fantastic scoreline to start from.
Yeah, fantastic shot. Shows the the knowledge of Tristana by Essa, just showing how well he works with that champion, as well as the team being there at the right time. And Pro's been all over Thyak. I mean, even though you're against an Evelynn jungle, you can never fully know where exactly she is. You can kind of guess. He's been there to counter it pretty much every single time right now. And overall, Seven Wars have been doing a fantastic job. And like I said before, I talked to their coach. He said they're actually really nervous. They get a lot of stage fright. They really haven't played too many times on stage in front of a large crowd, especially their home crowd. But it doesn't even seem like it. They're playing like no other.
Yeah, they're really, really winning this out at the moment because, mentioned before, much, much stronger late game as well. They've got so many tools if the game continues for even a short amount of time like this, because a 2,000 gold difference is actually fairly significant considering how early we are in the game, and they're already bullying out most of the lanes. You can see Vlad is ahead, Orianna is ahead, bottom lane Tristana is going just mad ahead. And now actually she's picked up a Shiv, which is going to mean Lucy and Leona are going to have a very hard time ever pushing out.
It also makes it so Tristan can push the wave a lot faster. And also you have to think about this is that, you know, Lyon, they know where the real threat is so far. They know Essa's been, you know, dominating his lane with the help of Kimmy and Crow. So it's going to force Thyak, I would imagine, to visit that lane quite a bit more. But right now, he's still looking to help out Yuri. I mean, it's a tough position if you would think about it. His mid lane needs help. He needs to get Yuri going because Yuri hasn't been able to pick up that kill 1v1 against Bruiser, who didn't even build towards the, what is the part of the zone is? I can't remember the name right now.
Seeker's Arm Guard.
There we go, Seeker's Arm Guard. So he hasn't been able to get any winning trades there, but then their bottom lane is losing as well. The only lane that's holding steady is this top side, but they still have a 23 CS disadvantage.
And there's very, very little potential for killing the top lane. And this is a point that's been raised several times. If you end up in a 3-on-3, but your lanes are winning, you're going to be coming out on top. And there is a fight again.
And they're going for Bruiser. They need to pop the ultimate, just flashes away, not too afraid. The Command Protect was able to keep him healthy enough as well that he didn't even drop below that shield, didn't even get busted. And that is another, I don't want to say failed gank, but a gank thwarted by Seven Wars here.
The reason, though, that they're not trying to gank bottom lane is that factor we mentioned before. If you're in a 3-on-3, and it's a very predictable gank path to go for, because obviously Fiddlesticks, Tristana, you want to shut them down, is that if Elise is there, even one time, the tower's gone, Dragon's gone. They've lost so much.
And Elise is coming right now. We're going to have him actually going for it. Looks like a bit of counter jump here, but he might get caught. He actually does ward over towards the wolves here. Actually a good way to spot out where Thak's going, but he does get the nice cocoon on. We do see Leona come from the side. He actually, oh, this hit like it's dodged by Crow, and then looking to potentially turn this around. It is a 4-on-4. Here comes Kimmy with the ult. He's going to get the fear on Anerzo, and that is going to be a kill coming in for Seven Wars. Oh no! The Dark Wave picks up the kill as he gets hit over the wall by that Tristana ultimate. There's Vavissa, and here comes a Dragon over for Seven Wars.
Snowballing out of control at this point. They are getting so many advantages from this because they're not going to stop with just that, most likely. They can either take essentially a free back there, or they could easily push down a tower because the lanes they're up against are going to have to return and spread out as planned. But Seven Wars could have gone whichever way they wanted, assuming they'd swept out that ward, but actually they hadn't, so they couldn't. Oh well.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, all they need to win is these little battles, and they will just slowly claw their way to a giant lead. Currently 4.2 thousand, 13 minutes in. The biggest lead we've seen so far today out of the first best of 3 and this one. And right now, Seven Wars, I mean, they're looking more solid than we saw Pain playing earlier on today.
Yeah, they have not made a lot of faulty decisions, and their mechanics have been just brilliant. I mean, I'm still reeling from the flash ultimate from Issa. That was just brilliant to see. Now, okay, so that puts Lyon in a very, very bad situation, but they do still have a couple of tools in their favor. They can still create picks. They have got Leona, they have got Zac, but they need to start trying to push out lanes really, really hard in order to get those situations where people can be caught in transit between lanes. That means they can't let Seven Wars get much more farmed, and it may mean actually that they're going to try for Xantins here, but they're not. This isn't going to work.
And Pork is just taking basically no damage from Xantins right here. We do have Crow heading up from a middle kind of right now, but he was able to force him away, realize that the wave's going to be pushed anyways. It doesn't really give too many cares, but one thing I do want to point out is you can never forget about that context reset as he goes in here. We do see the ultimate come out of Evelynn. Bruiser gets knocked down, and there's the reset for Yuri. They're actually going to turn this on the Crow here. They do force him to back away as you even see it coming in from the side. They're going to go for a 4-man push on this turret, but you're seeing the response out of Seven Wars. They're already sitting in their bottom lane, back up to middle to defend against this.
And there's not a lot of ultimates available to stop them and not a lot of health to stop them. So yes, it's a kill, but it's not a huge amount, and it's not on the most important person who needs to die. They need to kill Essa at this point. So It's obviously nice from Lyon, but not really going to change the flow of the game.
It's also unfortunate that Thyak was the one picking up those 2 kills, where if Yuri could get them, he would be able to build such an advantage, maybe get that Hydra done a little bit earlier on, and once he hits a level 11, we'll have that, I believe, jump reset as well. I think he actually did go for his Q, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he did. So he actually did evolve his Q first. And once you have that reset mechanic, we've seen time and time again. I mean, how many pentakills have we seen Kazakhs get in LCS so far?
Yeah, I haven't got the count on hand, but I can tell you it's more than most people. Kazakhs can snowball really, really hard, but as is always the case, it's so hard to make that work if you don't have the damage, because your reset suddenly becomes so much less threatening. It's not like Katarina where you can just jump around and do a lot of AoE damage and you'll kill everyone. You need to be able to burst one person down in order to get that second jump.
And just like that, we're seeing Seven Wars. They're going to pick up 2 turrets off of this. Xantan's been doing a fantastic job top lane, out-farming Porky here, 140 to 105 CS. And he's been able to build up such a huge lead here. Going for the Sword Boots as well as that Will of the Ancients right now. And Lyon, they seem to not really have a response just yet and what to do. Because like we said before, got those 2 kills, not really exactly what you want to see. However, one thing I will give them is that Porky, he basically, I mean, I want to say he can basically just build magic resist against his team, but he also has to worry about Essa, who does have those 3 kills like you were mentioning before.
Yeah, that is the thing. Normally at this stage it would be fine to have literally nothing but magic resist, but because so much of the gold is focused on Essa, you can't really afford to ignore him. And at that point, well, what do you choose? You choose essentially that you have to kind of split both ways and just, or potentially build loads of magic resist and just pray you can focus out Tristana, but that's very, very difficult because one of the strengths of Tristana late game is the range. She's not quite up to that point yet, but she's still got the knockback, she's still got her own reposition.
And has her team to back her up. I mean, if you think about Fiddlesticks with the fear, if you're Yuri and you jump in on top of them and you get feared and you're not stealthed up, you don't get the kill, like you're just dead meat. You're just there to die. You're a chicken with its head cut off. And I want to see if Seven Wars can really kind of work with that. But in the meantime, I want to give credit to Sia though. If you take a look at his CS, 117 to 127 CS, but he's also died 2 times. But he's still keeping up in terms of that, which is a fantastic job.
Yeah, that's really not bad performance there, but it just seems like they never had the answer to Tristana pushing them to their tower. Actually, there's another fight.
Oh, we do see Evelyn use the ulti on Kimmy. He actually flashes over the wall, but we do see the jump come in from Yuri onto him. Kimmy can't escape. Maybe he can try to ulti, but he's just going to try to drain. He's going to go down here. Dragon up in about 1:30, not the exact time they wanted. And you see the threat of Essa, and you see the respect come out of Thyak. He instantly flashes away from that, instantly tries to run away. But Lyon, if they can keep picking up these kills one by one like this can give them a nice clawing way back into the game.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, that is the one strength their team will always, in fact, have over Seven Wars. They have the potential to catch one person out and blow them up really, really well. What Seven Wars just need to do, though, in order to avoid that, is just continue applying pressure across the map and make sure they've got warding control in the upper jungle and the lower jungle of Lyon. If they can keep that control going, continue pushing out with their excellent wave clear on every single lane, they shouldn't have too many problems continuing this.
And speaking of pushing out, I wonder if Yuri's going to try to get to that split push threat that he can really be on a Kazakhs. He does have half of his Hydra done, and he does have that Brutalizer picked up as well, so he can do a fair amount of damage, but right now, Lyon is just forced to react to any kind of move that Seven Wars makes. I mean, they're trying to pick up the kills, they're doing it right now, but honestly, a Dragon would be like the perfect way to really solidify, or at least solidify your way of getting back in the game.
Solidify both your way of getting back into the game, but also solidify your loss if it goes wrong. Seven Wars, they've got so many tools in an AoE focused team fight, but if they can catch Vlad, that could give them, no, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to catch a bottom as you were saying before. He does have that Seeker's arm guard done now. You do see Dragon started up here, and Crow already has it down about half health. Wow. Trying to come in here, and I'm not sure if he can really pull this away, but he can't get the smite. So we see the ultimate come out of Fiddlesticks, traces straight after Yuri, but Yuri actually stealths away. We see Porky jump in towards the backside straight onto Yuri. Finally rejoins the fight. Rooster's very low. He's looking for the kill, looking for the reset, but the Orion ultimate pulls him away and saves his life. And even with the command protect, he's not going to die from Ignite either, as he's going to clean up. And just like that, with the 4 kills, maybe even 5 coming here, and the Dragon, Porky misses the jump over the wall. He's forced to flash, gets chased down by the entire Seven Wars. That's going to be an ace. That's going to be a Dragon. And Seven Wars had just come out so far ahead, and we were just talking about solidifying a chance of getting back in the game, or you're lost. and I think we saw the latter of those two.
Yeah, that's now 7,000, nearly 8,000 gold between the two teams, and a Tristana who must have enough gold for an Infinity Edge.
I believe that was even a triple kill coming in for Essa right there. It's now 6-0-2, and that was just an interesting fight. If we think about how it began, it was Kimmy kind of getting caught, but he used the ultimate over the wall and pushed Yuri out right away, and they just didn't get the reset. Like, that's what you were saying before. I mean, yeah, if a Katarina can do a lot of AoE damage on a reset, but Yuri just couldn't get the extra damage he needed to start that going, to start that snowball.
Yeah, the thing was there actually as well. It was a really close run thing. Bruce's Shockwave made sure there was no reset there. That pulled away Kha'Zix and put him in a position where Tristana could finish it off. And after that, Essa was just free to go completely ham. You saw him flash over the wall alone to continue the fight with Zach, because he knew he was just under no threat at all from that.
The thing is, if you look at the items that are being built up, Zonia's Hourglass coming for Vladimir soon for Xantins. Rooster has his done. Tristana already has great protection from Fiddlesticks and the ability to jump away. So that means Crow and Kimmy are the only two that could potentially drop down here, and Crow's been building tanky, so it's Kimmy's the only one that can really die, and they haven't been able to do that either. It's getting very dangerous to the point, at least in my opinion, that Seven Wars will have control of this game unless they make a major mistake.
Yeah, it is now very much on Seven Wars' shoulders to not lose the game. It's very much theirs to win. As you say, if they focus down anyone, I mean, if you can catch Essa and somehow avoid him getting away thanks to his team, or if he's just wildly out of position, split pushing solo, and you can get a Leona ult on him before he W's away, it could potentially be the start of a good team fight. But catching Fiddlesticks, unless he is also wildly out of position, is not really worth it, because if you focus a lot of cooldowns on him, the rest of the team on Seven Wars has more than enough damage to kill 4v5 if there's no ultis.
And you have to send more than one person at him, because if you're just one man, you get feared. You're not really going to be doing too much right after that, especially if the team is right behind him. But Yuri getting a little bit out of position here. He's going to be forced to jump over that wall. A little escape here, but in the meantime, we do see the backside. Essa actually kind of getting caught here. He does get knocked up, and this could be the death of his jump. Doesn't really take him as far. The Orion ultimate does protect him, and they're keeping him alive. The Fiddlesticks party coming in from the backside over the wall, trying to pick up the kill. The Dark Wind has come in. Yuri's forced to run away. The entire team's forced to run away as they flash in for Porky. He does get the last missing shot over the wall. The red buff is taking. Is it going to be enough? No! But we see the double kill out of Xantins. Ultimate picks that up. And just like that, they're going to get a turn off this. They got the 2 kills. They are just snowballing the slight advantage they pulled off early on throughout the rest of this game.
Yeah, 10,000 gold now over the achieved. They are completely dominating the game. They could go for Baron right now, and even if Lyon Gaming turned up to stop them, most likely they would be able to just disengage from the Baron and engage on them. As it happens, they're taking the slightly safer path, which is fully understandable, taking away another tower, but they are so far ahead, it cannot be emphasized enough.
Well, we just got our question answered right there, whether or not they could burst out S if he does get caught. He was caught, Command Protect saved him, the Orion Ultimate saved him, and they just could not do the damage to kill him, even with the jump that was semi-failed because it got interrupted, I believe, mid-flight right there. So, Lyon, they're going to need a little bit more lockdown than that to really pick that one up, and I'm really hard-pressed to find a way that they can pull this one back as well.
And if they don't do it in maybe the next 50, 60 seconds, he's going to have his flash up again, and that's going to make it so much harder to ever hope to catch him out. That is a really, really hard thing to deal with already. There's so much goal between the two teams, and honestly, at this point, Lyon needs to just start thinking about what they're going to do next game, because they really need to rethink something here.
The thing is, they're a good team. I mean, we know them. They played against Game Gear U in the finals to see who can qualify over for the walkout tournament for Worlds in Season 2, and unfortunately for them, they just, sorry, Season 3, sorry. But unfortunately, it's just they're not showing that same kind of team that we saw then. I mean, they had one roster change. I'm not sure what's happened since then. Maybe it's the Season 4 patch that's throwing them off. But they need to do something quick if they want to keep their hopes alive here at Intel Extreme Masters Sao Paulo.
Well, I mean, they beat, what, MYM a month or two ago in WCG, something like that? They are they're good. They're really, really good. And they are just getting chumped at the moment. There is nothing that they can do at this point short of a mistake from Seven Wars. That's the point we've been making. That actually speaks most of all to me of how good Seven was in. I think this is actually, by the way, the Tristana Shiv Rush. That's an old KT Bullet strat. Okay, in this situation, Seven Wars now control basically anything they step foot into. They are
long way ahead. They've got the gold, they've got the fight. All they need to do is either group up and shove one lane, because the wave clear from Lyon is situationally great, but on a long cooldown, aka the culling. So they can just siege towers in, they can just push in that mid lane. I've actually got slightly to criticize the fact they're playing it very, very safe at the moment and just taking, you know, one objective after another.
Yeah, that has come back to bite teams in the ass later throughout like a tournament or throughout a match. And you know, 7 Warriors, they know Dragon's coming up. They're able to take it. They know they've been able to push Lyon back, and they have to defend some other lanes. From that, Zenton's is just kind of farming away. 220 CS here, 25 minutes in. 3-0-1 has his Zonya's done. Sitting on another 2,500 gold to spend. When he does go back and buy it, to become very, very dangerous if it already wasn't for Lyon here. And you see Lyon, they're trying to respond. They're putting pink wards down. They're trying to ward up their own jungle a little bit here or there. They're trying to get vision of the enemy team at all times. But the money that they have to do that, yeah, they have the trinkets obviously to do it, but it's starting to run really thin here. And we do have Xanthans. This could be very dangerous. I'll say if you can get that ward and get behind them here, they can pincer them in. And right now, Lyon, you think they're going to try to defend this turret? They're going to have to let it fall.
They can hold it for a while. 7 Wars are unlikely to want to go for a dive without any minions at the very, very least. And you can see there, the culling clears away all the minions. They can at least hold on for that amount of time. But if Kimmy is the one to jump in and he gets a good Crowstorm off, and Lyon don't somehow predict that, back away before they get you know, caught in that situation, then it would be a really bad thing. And the 5-on-5 dive is a viable option here for 7 Wars.
Well, you're seeing top lane pushing 4-7 Warriors towards that top side against Lyon. They're pushing with that mini wave. There's no wave clear on Lyon's side to really kind of defend against it. And just like that, they back away. But we just see Xanthans, he was going in for it, and he actually dodges that Zenith Blade right there. But another turret, 6-0 here now for 7 Wars. Only 26 minutes in. They're up 12-5 kills. They have a 14,000, 13,000 gold lead. It's starting to get out of hand, and they have a lot of money to spend when they do back away.
Yeah, so it's time to go and shop, I guess, is the logic. They might have been able to continue the push, but at the same time, they are under absolutely no obligation to take any risks at all. They have huge, you know, huge late game, huge damage, huge team fighting potential, huge split pushing potential from Vlad. They can do any single thing they want to do at this point, and they will come out on top. The only possible way to screw up is to get caught individually, out of position, and allow Lyon then to take an objective from them.
And with the way they're playing, it doesn't look like they're going to let that opportunity happen here. And I really like that Abyssal Scepter picked up for Xanthans, because if you think about it, he's going to be in the middle of the team, or the enemy team. He's going to be the one fighting. But with the Abyssal Scepter on him, and then allowing Brewster to go straight for that death cap, a lot of extra damage you're going to get, especially against a team that doesn't have really any magic resist built up. You look at Nerazil, he has obviously his W, that's just about it. You look at Sia, doesn't have any items to defend against that. Yuri only has Merc Treads, like the 3 people that you're... I mean, you can even look at over at Thyak too, doesn't have that much magic resist built up. He does have the Negatron Cloak going for an Abyssal, but you can see that that was just one quick combo from Xanthans. It wasn't even charged up just yet, and he's still taking down quite a bit of health.
And it's actually another really smart thing about the Abyssal Scepter, is he knows Kha'Zix isn't going to go for it. Kha'Zix needs resets. Resets, anathema to that, is going untargetable, is going into Zonya's. You cannot kill Vlad as Kha'Zix unless he's already used all that stuff, and that's not going to happen at the start of a fight. That's really when you start to be concerned about what resistance you've been itemized to the highest degree. As a result, building the Abyssal Scepter, avoiding the only people that are going to hit him, is really, really smart. He might be hit by Lucian, I should qualify that statement, but Triforce Last Whisper is all he's got.
And right now, this is Lyon's chance. I don't think personally that they can afford to let this inhibitor turret fall, because once they get the inhibitor, 7 Wars, they can kind of bait out Baron, they can bait out other lanes. And Lyon, they have to fight for this. You see Kimmy, he's not even going to be spotted over that corner with the ward. He's going to start popping his ultimate, start channeling over. He's going to get straight, and they actually get the Pharaoh to Yuri! He's almost getting burst attack completely. He's forced to run away. He does go down as the face that they kill. He goes godlike, and now Porky's going to fall. And just like that, 7 Wars in the hands of Kimmy and Crow. They pick up the 2 kills. They pick up number 3. They're going to get the inhibitor turret and the inhibitor off of this, and they even have Baron available if they want to go for it.
Enforced partying. I don't see any reason for them to bother going for Baron, though. They may well be able to finish. Spiderlings can tank. Vlad can tank. They're just going to do this.
Going straight for those Nexus turrets. Xanthans going to be the one to take it up here. Just going to kind of bob and weave inside and out. And that will be 7 Wars pick up the first Nexus turret. Second one's going to follow momentarily. 10 seconds on Thyak. He could maybe get in there in time. He just has ultimate available, but here he goes. Nexus turret is dropping out. Even Sia's just dancing right there, realizing this first game will be over. And 7 Wars, in their debut here at IEM SAO Paulo, picking up a very convincing win.
really, really convincing. I mean, that was just domination from the first second of the game. And I don't know what to say from the perspective of Lyon. If this is